Are you sure you're truly helping your plants when you water them in the greenhouse? Every home gardener lovingly picks up their watering can or hose, dreaming of juicy tomatoes and crisp cucumbers. But what if I told you that your generous watering might actually be doing more harm than good, leading to diseases and poor harvests? What if a single wrong move could undo all your hard work? Today, we're going to reveal 5 crucial secrets to proper greenhouse watering that many people simply overlook. Knowing these rules will transform you from a simple enthusiast into a true greenhouse master. Stick around until the very end, and you'll understand why you can't just grab a hose and start watering indiscriminately. Let's clarify one thing right away. A greenhouse isn't just a garden under a roof. It's a closed ecosystem with its own unique microclimate. Unlike an outdoor garden, there's no wind to dry the leaves or natural rain to cleanse the soil. Any mistake you make here is magnified exponentially because humidity and temperature can truly work against you. This is precisely why your approach to watering in a greenhouse needs to be entirely different. Here's the first secret. Timing is everything. And this is where many gardeners make a common mistake. A lot of people water their greenhouses in the evening, after a hot day. Seems logical, right? The sun has set, so it feels like the perfect time to give your plants a refreshing drink. But you're actually doing them a disservice. Let's figure out why. Imagine this. You've given your tomatoes a thorough watering. The water has soaked in, but the air inside the closed greenhouse remains very humid. At night, doors and vents are usually closed, which means almost no air circulation. The temperature drops. What's the result? Ideal conditions for fungal development, increased humidity, poor ventilation, and the cool night air. It's a perfect breeding ground for diseases like late blight and powdery mildew. You're essentially building a perfect incubator for these diseases. Your plants spend the entire night with wet feet in damp conditions, becoming easy prey for illnesses. And by morning, you might be surprised to discover the first unpleasant spots on their leaves. Now let's look at what happens with morning watering. You give your plants a vitality boost for the entire day. They absorb the necessary moisture just before the sun starts to get intense. Their roots actively absorb the water, preparing them to comfortably withstand the midday heat. Any excess moisture on the soil surface or leaves, if it happens to splash there, quickly evaporates under the morning sun and with daytime ventilation. No standing water, no risk. It's all simple and safe. So remember the golden rule. The best time to water your greenhouse is in the morning. Period. Let's move on to the second rule, one that most people hardly ever think about: water temperature. You wouldn't jump into an icy shower without preparing, would you? Well, your plants feel the same way about such extremes. Watering with icy water directly from a well or borehole can be incredibly stressful for their root system. Imagine this. In your greenhouse, the soil has warmed up to a comfortable 20 to 25 degrees Celsius. The roots are relaxed, actively working, absorbing nutrients. And then you pour a bucket of 5 to 10 degrees Celsius water on them. What happens? A sudden shock to the system. These delicate feeder roots just seize up and stop functioning from such a cold jolt. The plant goes into a temporary state of shock. It can't absorb water or nutrients from the soil, even if they're readily available. Growth slows, flowers or young fruits may drop, and the plant becomes more susceptible to diseases. Consistently watering with cold water is a sure way to weaken your crops and sabotage your harvest. So, what's the solution? It's simple. Place a large barrel in or near your greenhouse, preferably a dark-coloured one to maximise sun absorption. Fill it with water a day or 2 in advance. This gives the water time to settle and warm up to the ambient temperature. This type of watering will be like a warm, gentle summer rain for your plants. They'll absorb the moisture stress-free, and you'll be rewarded with healthy plants and a fantastic harvest. The third key to success, which debunks the popular "more is always better" myth, is proper watering frequency. Many gardeners, especially beginners, tend to believe that love and care mean daily watering. Unfortunately, this excessive attention often leads to disastrous results. Remember, in a greenhouse, moisture evaporates much slower than it does outdoors. Consistently wet soil isn't a blessing, it's a direct threat. First, Excess moisture displaces oxygen from the soil, which is vital for roots to breathe. Without oxygen, roots literally begin to suffocate and die. This condition is known as root rot. The plant weakens, turns yellow, and becomes very difficult to save. Second, a consistently damp soil surface is an ideal breeding ground for fungus gnats and mould. So, how do you know when to water? Forget about rigid schedules like water on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Everything depends on the weather, the size of your plants, and their development stage. There's a simple and reliable tried and true method. Just dig your finger into the soil to a depth of 5–7 centimetres. Don't just touch the surface. Really plunge your finger deep, next to the stem, but not right against it. If the soil at that depth is dry and crumbles, it's time to water. If it's moist and sticks to your finger, put the watering can away for another day or two. This simple test is more accurate than any schedule because you're responding to the real needs of your plants. And finally, the fourth secret that directly impacts not only the health, but also the flavour of your harvest, the quality of the water itself. That's right, not all water is created equal, and what you use to hydrate your plants makes a huge difference. Let's compare two primary sources, tap water versus rainwater. Tap water or well water tends to be hard and cold. By hard, we mean it's high in dissolved calcium and magnesium salts. With regular watering, these salts accumulate in the soil, altering its pH level. The soil becomes more alkaline, which in turn blocks plants from accessing crucial micronutrients like iron and manganese. Your plants can essentially starve, even if your soil is full of nutrients. What's more, tap water often contains chlorine, which is detrimental to the beneficial microbes in your soil. Now let's talk about rainwater. It's truly a natural elixir for your plants. It's naturally soft and free of the excess salts found in tap water. Its slightly acidic pH is ideal for most garden crops, especially tomatoes. This type of water helps plant roots absorb all the essential nutrients from the soil much more efficiently. So, what if rainfall is scarce in your area? The solution is simple, and we've actually touched on it already. Letting your water stand. Simply fill a large container or barrel with tap water and let it sit for at least 24 hours, or ideally 48. During this time, most of the chlorine will evaporate, some salts will settle at the bottom, and the water will warm up to ambient temperature. Essentially, you're transforming ordinary tap water into a much more beneficial and plant-friendly water source. You'll notice a significant difference. And now for the most crucial secret, the one that separates a bountiful harvest from utter disappointment. Are you ready? Never. And I mean never. Water your greenhouse plants from above, directly onto their leaves. It's not the refreshing shower it might seem to be. In fact, it's a direct invitation to the most destructive enemies of your crop. Let's dissect this common mistake. First, we have leaf scorch. Every water droplet left on a leaf on a sunny day acts as a tiny magnifying glass. Sunlight passing through it focuses, essentially burning unsightly brown spots onto the delicate foliage. The plant then wastes precious energy healing these wounds instead of focusing on fruit production. But that's only half the story. The real disaster happens next. Remember, a greenhouse is inherently a warm, humid environment with limited air circulation. When you drench the foliage, you create the perfect 5-star resort for fungal diseases, especially for late blight. Its spores absolutely thrive in such conditions. They germinate on wet leaves and can wipe out all your hard work in a matter of days. You're literally opening the gates for infection. So what's the right way? Your goal is to deliver water directly to the roots. That's exactly where it's needed because plants drink through their roots, not their leaves. Think of yourself as a sniper, not an artillery gunner firing indiscriminately. Your target is the root zone. Use watering cans with a long, slender spout, drip irrigation systems, or simply pour water gently into a pre-dug trench or basin around the base of the plant. Believe me, your tomatoes and cucumbers will thank you for such precise care with a bountiful harvest of juicy, healthy produce. And now, for the most crucial secret, the one that separates a bountiful harvest from sheer disappointment. Ready? Never, and I mean never, water your greenhouse plants from above, directly onto the leaves. It's not a refreshing shower. It's an open invitation for disease. Every drop of water left on a leaf in a greenhouse acts like a tiny magnifying glass for the sun, causing scorch marks. But even worse, in the constant humidity and warmth of a greenhouse, it creates the perfect breeding ground for fungal diseases, especially that dreaded late blight. You are quite literally rolling out the red carpet for it. Your goal is to deliver water directly to the roots, right where it's truly needed. Think of yourself as a sniper, not an artilleryman. Your target is the root, not the entire surrounding area. Use watering cans with long spouts, drip irrigation systems, or simply pour water gently into the soil around the base of the plant. Believe me, your tomatoes and cucumbers will thank you with a juicy and healthy harvest. So, let's recap. The right time, warm water, checking moisture levels, good quality water, and most importantly, watering strictly at the base. These are the 5 pillars that support the health of your greenhouse. Thanks for watching this video all the way to the end. I hope these tips were helpful to you. If you learned something new, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on other gardening hacks. Now, a question for you. What watering secrets do you use? Or perhaps you've made one of these mistakes before. Share your experiences in the comments below. Let's discuss.